This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Carbonite. Today on TRS, Ashley Judd stars in the new ABC action drama, Missing.
So we are back in TV. We're talking about the new Ashley
Judd.
Oh, wow. As soon as I said Ashley, I was like, her name's not Ashley Judd.
I don't know. I'm like,
Ashley?
Ashley.
What is
Road.
it? It is Ashley.
Road.
Naomi? Very weird. No, it's Ashley. The new Ashley Judd thriller, Missing, on ABC. Missing follows a mild-mannered wife and mother who, at the very first beginning of the series, her husband is killed in a foreign land, Vienna, Austria, and she then has to raise her son by herself.
We sort of just cut to that.
Oh, we cut to all of this. That's why I'm like, no spoiler here. It's the first 5 minutes. All this happens. And then her son goes off to college in Rome and ends up going missing. And we find out a lot of interesting things about that family as the story unfolds. This is one of those serialized, there was one called Kidnapped, I think. It's sort of a serialized story about, or not serialized. Serialized the right word? Yes. Serialized story
Ashley.
about one missing person. Ashley. It feels weird on my tongue. Jeff, what did you think of Missing?
I thought it was terrible, and I'm sad to say.
What was missing?
I mean, what they're attempting, actually, is to do Taken, the series, right? The Liam Neeson, like, I'm a badass. I was trained to be a badass. You didn't know that when you took my son, or in his case, daughter. But guess what? You just opened a whole world of hurt on yourself. And so in this situation, it's Taken with the mom. I don't think I appreciate the ambition of going there and trying to make they're attempting to make a big budget action film.
Big budget?
Well, I think that's where their eyes are.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Their ambition is we're making Taken the show.
Right. Every week it's Taken.
And there's like 2 or 3 action set pieces in the first episode. Yeah. And I think
we're going from Rome to Paris,
globe-trotting, just like you would see in. It's kind of like Taken meets a Bourne movie. You know, it's like what you would see with a Bourne movie is he's globe-trotting and chasing down, and we're into Treadstone, or in her case, it's a different stone. Whitstone is her, last name. Yeah. But and we've got the CIA on her tail, just as Treadstone was sort of on Bourne's tail. It's that similar template. Unfortunately, it falls far short of that goal, just on a pure production level. And even the writing is not strong, and it feels very on the nose constantly and very clunky. And we're given information that doesn't feel like any reason to be given it other than we need that information. There's no... we talk a lot about setups and payoffs, or at least I do, in things that feel very satisfying because they mask the setup, and when it pays off, it's very satisfying. It's like, oh yeah, I was given that information earlier and I didn't even know it was information I was given. Here, it's, what? She's been trained by the best? It's like, it feels so on the nose and so clunky, and you have these scenes that just feel, in a defter film, I don't think defter is a word, but whatever. In a more deft film, you have the guy walking through and going, I need that before my coffee gets cold. And somehow it works and feels real and authentic and in a sort of Aaron Sorkin, like, oh wow. But here it doesn't feel at all real. It feels very much wannabe rather than, and I mean there's a big moped chase in the pilot that it just didn't get there, and it makes the whole thing, the whole souffle collapses, you know, and unfortunately, I didn't find anything that would make me want to come back for episode 2.
Okay, Daniel Trachtenberg, what did you think?
Amazing.
Smile.
Amazing.
I think it's an incredible premise, that could be an incredible show.
If Liam Neeson was in it.
But it's all uneven. Ashley Judd, I think she totally fits for this role, but there are moments where their performance doesn't work, but there are moments where the performance is great. There's one of the first action sequences where she becomes Jason Bourne. Like I really thought this was not working until that action scene. I even wasn't sure if she was. I wasn't sure if she was an action hero or if she was just a mom having to become, you know.
That's the cool
But then that
part of the
action
beginning.
scene was like, oh no, she knows what she's doing, and that.
I like that they didn't spell that out at the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. It was well done, and that action sequence was very well done. But then the later action sequences were not well done, and then like it's weird. We're in this weird blessing is a curse with technology and special effects, where now we are able to do so much with special effects that are so believable that we now choose to do more with special effects, even if, like, I don't know.
We can't sit in a car in an airport parking lot and have a conversation.
They just did that. They just everything was a composite, a special effect that just a few years ago. I don't know when it first aired, but Alias is a very similar show, executed so well. And if this show was executed the same way that Alias was executed, it would be one of my favorite shows on TV. I would love it.
Just as Alias was.
But it's not. Right. But like, so Alias couldn't fake those locations. They had to have some production design, and it made it feel so much better. Everything just like, I'm being, like, I don't know, because I feel like the writing is probably okay. There's a couple network TV moments that make you think the writing's bad, but I bet you the pilot script was awesome and then got a little watered down. I think, you know, same thing goes with all those performances. I'm willing to bet right now that Sean Bean is not he's clearly not dead because they cast Sean Bean.
Yeah.
That doesn't take a CIA agent to figure out, but I'm willing to bet that he's going to be the big bad of the season, and that. But I just shouldn't say it's like
yeah, we don't know anything. It just seems so obvious.
I think that he's going to be the big bad of the season, but for noble reasons, not for negative reasons. That he's protecting the kid instead of, you know, deviously taking him and whatever. But it's like it should be cool. There's cool elements.
It's just not cool.
It just falls flat in so many areas.
Yeah.
Upon execution, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. You know, there's some fun to be had here in the girl kicks somebody in the face moments. But for the most part, everything else is just kind of like, that happened. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that happened. And I agree with you that sometimes I was like, oh my God, Ashley Judd is perfect for this role. And then other times I was like, wow, I feel like this is not right. Something is not right. I constantly felt like something is not right here. And I think one of the other things is that reliance on this composited green screen-esque technology, where I never once believed that she or the people making this TV show ever left Los Angeles. And I think you nailed it right on the head with Alias, where it was a globe-trotting, woman-kicking ass CIA show. And I always felt like, wow, did they actually go there? That's crazy.
Lost was that way too. And
Lost was that way too, yeah.
Well, you know what? I was actually thinking about that, and I wonder if it's not just sort of bad green screen. It's also, part of that is that we're now watching all this stuff in HD. And I think that there are some shows that maybe got away with more just a few years ago when we weren't all watching all of our TV shows in HD, you know, because it hasn't been that long that we've been able to watch television shows in HD, and I think it points out that stuff more than we used to.
I don't feel that way about effects, but I do feel that way about like the actors and actresses' looks and things like that.
Yeah.
Ashley Judd's a looker. but.
Yeah, but
Thanks,
so
1950s, Dan.
Yeah, she's got some gams on her, doesn't she?
What do you say?
She's a looker. Look at those stems. Yeah, so I think it's one of those shows. It's like, wow, the ambition is so great, and I think you're right that pilot probably read awesome. It probably read like Taken with a mom, and that is a pitch that I go, ooh, I'd like to see that. You know what I mean? Like,
there's just moments that feel like they're probably not going to get it, so force feed that information. In that what your idea is of a network TV funnel that I think make it seem, even the performance, it like filtered into things that sometimes you don't see. Sometimes they're able to pull that off. The bad moments were like, I felt uncomfortable watching it. I was like, oh, don't. I just
There's a moment right at the beginning. I mean, literally in the first minute and a half of the show, where she's on the phone and they're trying so hard to create like the idyllic family for you, and the car explodes, and she works herself up into a frenzy of emotion, where what you would actually hear on the other end of a phone is, you wouldn't know that there was an explosion happening
of things that's funny, but
I was right there. I was like, because she's like,
there's a lot of those.
Yeah.
The friend, like when he, FaceTiming with, and text messages that say no new text messages. We all had to we all speak to all of us that use it every day. It should look the way we interact.
It
never
with the way we
says
no new text messages from that guy you want text messages from.
It doesn't work that way.
Your son doesn't love you.
Yeah,
that is a shorthand that they had to do. Like,
there's a lot of that.
But if that was the worst, and you could get past it, but
it's not the worst.
It wasn't the worst.
Yeah.
But.
All right, missing ABC's Thursday nights at 8.
Missing any kind of us coming back.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around. We're going to be answering one of your Twitter questions right after this. But first, we want to thank our sponsor, Carbonite. Protects your pictures and your other files from a computer crash, fire, theft, or when you accidentally delete a file by automatically and continually backing up your files and keeping them securely off-site. You'll never need to remember to back up again, whether you have 1 or 2 computers at home or several computers at a small business. Carbonite is the better backup plan. Over 1 million customers trust Carbonite to protect their home and small business computer files with plans starting at just $59 a year. That's right, $59 a year. Start your free trial at Carbonite.com with the offer code TRS, and you'll get a bonus 2 months for free if you decide to buy. That's Carbonite.com, and the offer code for 2 bonus months is TRS. Thank you, everybody. Get your backgrounds in.
Oh, yeah, send those in. We'll put them up behind ours.
Fange at Totally Rad. Behind ours.
That's technically true.
I know.
That is true.
That was a Freudian slip.
Check us out tomorrow for our review of Hunger Games.
Today's Twitter question comes from Michael Axt, who axed us a question. He's at Axtimus Prime. He axed. If you had the powers of the Scribblenaught, what is the first thing you would make? Of course, the Scribblenauts was a DS game now, it just came out on the iOS platform as well, where you literally write any word and that thing comes into existence. So you can write blue elephant comes into existence.
Well, you stole the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say blue elephant.
The right
always wanted one.
You write down the ability to write down more things. Right?
Yeah, mine is mine is I would wait for the Mega Millions to get very, very high, and I would write winning Mega Millions lottery ticket.
Why don't you just write $87 billion?
Because then it's like, whoa, hey,
it lands
the
on you
government.
and it's heavy.
Yeah, the government's like, what? Where'd you get all this money, cartel lady?
How wishes work. You write down.
You're a lady now.
You write down winning lottery ticket, and it gives you a winning lottery ticket from like the 1980s.
That's why I said winning lottery ticket and new skirt for Mega Millions.
Ma'am.
What? I don't work for the cartels. 2, I'm a man.
You know,
our information got completely screwed up.
The government has some strange ideas.
Yeah.
No, yours.
No, yours.
It's all money.
would-
We're so materialistic that all we care about is
for more
money.
wishes.
I would, of course, get gold bullion. No.
I was going to be a jetpack
gold.
before I came up with the winning lottery
Gold,
ticket
no one
number.
asks questions about where gold came from, right?
Sure they do.
Why?
What, there's
Gold,
blood
the
on
government
it?
doesn't. You're a female cartel member who kills for gold?
Perfectly, and I am perfectly in a situation of knowledge when it comes to gold. All gold has blood on it.
I don't think Alex knows what a scribble knot does.
My
He
name
thinks
is
that they kill for gold.
my name is Juanita Manuel.
Thank you for sending that in, Michael.